Hi everybody, welcome to my homestead and welcome to my channel. My name is Jared. In this video, I want to talk about Mexico because incredible things are happening in Mexico. It's exciting, not just for Mexico, it's exciting for us too. There's a really interesting quote here that was shared to me in this email. President Ballard and somebody else I can't remember was there. Oh, it says right here, Elder Stevenson was in Mexico, and they said some pretty interesting things. So let's just go ahead and let's start with this email. I found a new extension, by the way, where I can cross out the person's email address. You know, like I can write on the screen right here. So I'll be using this from now on. Really cool. Okay. Unbelievable Mexico City church activity. This is from Forrest Elkins. Jared, I can just see the wheels turning in your mind over this amazing quote in the recent Church News article about President Ballard and Elder Stevenson's recent ministering in Mexico City. And this is from the article. At the temple, quote, you see these buses pull up, and they leave and other buses replace them, said Sister Ann Douglas, who moved to the city in August when Elder Douglas joined the area presidency. Continuing the quote, and it is like that all the time, 5 days a week. The line to the baptistry is always out the door. I've never seen temple attendants like this in my life, and they have traveled hours. It is really humbling. End quote. In another quote, they say it can take up to 3 hours to get to the temple from other parts of the city. Best wishes and Merry Christmas, Forrest Elkins. Yes, so I wanted to look into this and see if I could pull out any details. Before we do, I'm not stopping with the Book of Mormon thing, so it's kind of slowed down with you guys sharing stuff with me. But if you've sent out more copies of the Book of Mormon, let me know. If you haven't reached 10, then get to 10. Okay, that's currently like the channel goal. And as of right now, let me zoom in. As of right now, we have collectively sent out 2,253 copies of the Book of Mormon, and that is a conservative number. And then the potential reach is 13,220. We have reports. 3 reports of these people meeting with the missionaries as a result of you sharing the Book of Mormon with your friends, family. We have a total of 228 individual sharers, which is really, really low because this channel has 13,000 subscribers, 13,200. In fact, let me go to my channel. I just want to show you something. Okay, so my most recent video that I put out earlier today, it is currently only at 1,800 views, but 1,800, and that's like on the low side, that is way more than people that have shared the Book of Mormon. So get on it if you haven't done it yet. It's just like that story I told when I was in the Army. The first sergeant was trying to get people on the bus to go donate blood. No one leaves until we fill this bus up. So sell or not sell, don't be selling the Book of Mormon, please. Please share the Book of Mormon and participate in this challenge. This is a great way for everybody to do this together and to be motivated. Okay, so as of right now, the last time I reported, I think we were at this 2002, and we've jumped up another 251. So keep it going. Okay, now back to Mexico. Okay, so there's this article, President Ballard and Elder Stevenson look to the future of the Church of Jesus Christ in Mexico. One thing I want to point out so that we have the proper context. Okay, this is on Wikipedia. The number 1 country in the world in terms of membership population is the United States with 6.7 million. Right after that, in next place we have Mexico with 1.4, about to become 1.5, just a little bit ahead of Brazil. So Mexico, I think for a long time, has been in the number 2 spot. I'm not entirely sure. You look at the percentage of the population of that country. For the United States, 2% of citizens are members of the church. Mexico, it's 1.16, which is big. If you're in, like, if you're at 1% or higher, that's pretty high up there. Because there's many other countries where it's like, look at Kenya, 0.03, Ukraine 0.03. So it's a big country for the church. It's an important country for the church. Okay, so I want to read a few things that they said. I just got to find the highlights. Okay, President Ballard and Elder Stevenson helped the members see the potential of all that Mexico can become in the church, said Elder Torres. Members understand that they have to, quote, keep the gospel simple, end quote, sharing gospel truths and caring for one another. Okay, this is something that Elder Gong said. So this is not President Ballard or Elder Stevenson. This is something that Elder Gong had said before. The church is going to move forward in Mexico as it has never done before. That is really interesting. And then later he said, this is the time for Mexico. That is really cool. In fact, that takes you to this article. This article is dated November 2nd. So I guess Elder Gong was there. Let's see, the Yucatan Peninsula. And he was talking about the bright future of Mexico. It says here, Elder Gong introduced 3 themes for his discussion with young adults: spiritual foundation, faith, family, and future. And this is the time for Mexico. That is really, really interesting. There's a separate section of this article called This is the Time for Mexico. Elder Montoya said he understands that some in Cancun wonder why they don't have a temple closer to them. Let's take a look at Cancun. Okay, Cancun is over here. So it's like on the other side of this like peninsula. Merida would be the closest temple. It doesn't look like it's too far, but I don't know what travel is like in Mexico. Here's the rest of the country. I don't know how many temples they have total. Maybe it says here under membership. No. Maybe it says up here. Yeah, it should say up here. Okay. Let's go to the top. Temples. Okay, let's go down to Mexico. So it looks like a total of 19 if you take all the different stages, like ones that are already constructed, ones that are announced, and then ones that are currently under construction. So 19 total for Mexico. That is quite a bit for any given country. Okay, so anyway, so he's over here talking to Cancun. Here's all the other temples over here. All right, let's go back. 23 temples. Oh, the Wikipedia page must not be updated because it says 23 temples is a blessing for Mexico, Elder Montoya said. And regardless of how close one lives to a temple, it is important to follow the commandments and be worthy of a temple recommend, he said. As he closed the meeting, Elder Gong shared his testimony in Spanish with the young adults. God is our Father. He lives. He loves each one of us one by one. He invited the young adults to draw closer to Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ through serving and worshiping in the temple. He said the temple is truly the Lord's house, in that he says to all, mi casa es su casa. My house is your house. So, but I don't know. This is the time for Mexico. Let's go back to President Ballard and Elder Stevenson. Okay. His message, Elder Gong's message, coupled with the inspired visits of President Ballard and Elder Stevenson, quote, has really lifted the vision of the Mexico saints to recognize that the Lord is doing a marvelous work and a wonder in Mexico. Elder Douglas said, "The blessings the Lord has in store for Mexico also come with great responsibility." Quoting Doctrine and Covenants 127, verse 4, he read, "Let the work of my temple and all the works which I have appointed unto you be continued on and not cease, and let your diligence and your perseverance and patience in your works be redoubled." Elder Douglas spoke of the blessings of President Ballard's and Elder Stevenson's visit. Quote, as I see double, not one, but two of the 12 apostles here, the feeling that I had today was that the Lord is blessing us with double, and he is expecting double. Okay, so the church will grow in Mexico. President Ballard called it absolutely thrilling to meet with missionaries and to see the future leadership of the church. The church is only going to go one way, and that is to get better and better and better. Okay, so they're feeling really good about Mexico, and these are some pretty incredible words. And in regards to the temple, the Mexico City temple, I thought it talked about it in here. Maybe not. Maybe I accidentally closed out of it. But it doesn't matter. I don't need to necessarily read from it. So let's zoom in. Okay, so here's the Mexico City temple that's been there forever. Look, it's the 26th dedicated temple. So Mexico City is a really large city. It's the largest city of North America in terms of population. So you have this temple here, the Benemerito temple. That was announced April of this year. So this is one of the 17 that were announced in April, and then part of the 18 that was announced in October are these other ones: Cuernavaca, Pachuca, Toluca, and Tula, and these are all in that area, and you can see them right here. So you zoom out. Okay. So here is the Pachuca, northeast of Mexico City, Tula, northwest, Toluca, kind of like southwest, and then Cuernavaca, south of Mexico City, on top of the Benemerito. So this Mexico City area has had 5 temples announced. That's pretty amazing. That is pretty amazing, and that's really exciting. Like I've said before, there's just been so many different quotes and things that I can think of where different general authorities and officers of the church have talked about different areas and how they're going to grow and they're going to blossom. And again, I don't know if they have the period before the second coming in mind or after the second coming. I tend to, if I had to guess, I would think that that very first part of the second coming, when Christ is here and many, many people are going to want to join the church. And I would have no doubt that Mexico would probably be one of those big places because there's so much Christianity here in Mexico. Okay. And they talked about how those 4 temples, those are like the first of, like, I guess what they want to do is they wanted to go to other situations like this where the temple in that area is overloaded in a large metro area and do other temples in the same place. I can't remember how President Nelson worded it. Let's see what he said exactly. Let's see. Let's zoom out. General Conference, October. Go to his last talk. Focus on the temple. Okay, he said, we are planning to build multiple temples in selected large metropolitan areas where travel time to an existing temple is a major challenge. Therefore, I am pleased to announce 4 additional temples near Mexico City. Okay, so this seems to be the first in some kind of series of other metro areas that are going to receive multiple temples where travel time is a major challenge. So immediately what comes to mind for me, and you can let me know your opinion in the comments below, I can imagine Brazil being in the same kind of situation, because Brazil is in the number 3 spot in terms of membership. Okay, they're just right behind Mexico. So let's go over here. So I don't know, like what, maybe Rio de Janeiro, possibly, maybe more in Sao Paulo, because these are 2 large cities. Where else? I don't know about Brasilia. Maybe there. Can you guys think of any other places where there's a lot of members of the church, one big metro area, but not enough temples? I don't know. I just came from Phoenix a couple years ago. That's where I was living. I don't know if like Phoenix would be another one. There's a lot of members of the church here. It would be great to have a temple over here in the Southwest Valley or in the West Valley, like maybe one in Surprise, one in Goodyear, or Buckeye even. California, possibly. I don't know. San Francisco? I don't know how many members of the church are there. So, exciting times, bright future, and it seems like this is just another indication that they anticipate growth, even to the point where I would say maybe they're expecting rapid growth, which would seem to point to the second coming. It would seem to point to this last wave of missionaries, if it is a last wave, them being the last before the second coming and transitioning to be the first of the millennium. But they're talking about large numbers. Just think about President Nelson and how he talked about the women of the church will bring in the good women of the world along with their families in large numbers, as long as they stay separate from the world in happy ways. So, okay, well, that's going to be it for this one. If you haven't already, well, first of all, make sure to share the Book of Mormon and then let me know about it. Put it in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe, like this video if you liked it, leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Also, make sure to share this video, and I'll talk to you guys later.